Hey guys, I got a request over the summer from Anj P to do a review on Cantu's new moisturizing curl activator cream, and this is what it looks like. It comes in a very distinctive packaging. I've noticed Cantu has this very eye-catching orange and white packaging, and it's a 12 fluid ounce bottle, and mine cost me about $5 at Walmart. I do want to call your attention to the fact that it says new in the corner of the label here. That place was the only place where I have found it, and this was on a chance trip to this Walmart, which is not a place where I usually shop. This is a Walmart near my house, and as I said, it was just kind of a chance encounter. I happened to stick my head into the hair care aisle and I saw this, so I said, hey, why not grab it? Since I've come up to school, I have not seen this particular product at the Walmart here, or at the grocery store, or at the CVS, which are basically the three places available to me. I've seen other Cantu products, but I haven't seen this stuff in particular, so it might be a little difficult to find. I'll start off showing the consistency. It has a very thick lotion-like consistency. Maybe this will show up. Has a faint slipperiness to it as well, and it's also a little bit tacky if you use it dry, and I'll be addressing that later, but it is like a slippery lotion, and I do want to discuss the smell right away too. If you have an issue with strong smells, beware, because this has a very strong smell. It's very sweet. I didn't find that it made me sick, but it is still very strong, and it could easily be obnoxious. It's a syrupy, sweet smell. I think of bubblegum. It's a very bubblegummy scent with, I think, like some honey and a nutty tinge to it. It has a slightly nutty smell. And there is sweet almond oil on the ingredients list, but I don't know if that is the reason why, because I've never actually smelled sweet almond oil. But if you're sensitive to strong smells, beware, because this stuff it smells very strongly. I'm holding my hand down here, that little bit that I put on my hand, and I can smell it. Now, according to the label, this has no mineral oil, sulfates, parabens, silicones, phthalates, gluten, paraben, propylene glycol, PABA, or DEA, which is really good news for those of us who are on the Curly Girl method. But I do want to call your attention to one ingredient right away, and this is this polyquaternium 10, which is, I think, about the 6th ingredient on here. I had heard somewhere that polyquaterniums are kind of like a cousin to silicones, and that alarmed me, so I started doing a little bit of research just about this particular ingredient. Apparently this ingredient is like a silicone. It is not a silicone, but it is like a silicone in that it's there to help condition the hair by sticking to the hair and providing some smoothing. And according to naturallycurly.com, I found an article about it on naturallycurly.com. It has a softer hold than other polyquats, as they're called for short, so apparently they might provide some hold, and apparently is slightly more prone to build up. However, I also found another article from a cosmetics ingredients company, and they said that it is easy soluble in water, so I don't really know what exactly the full story is. I did a little bit of an experiment. I put some of this stuff on the palm of my hand, and then I went and tried to wash my hand off with some conditioner like I was co-washing, and that seemed to work okay, and I have been able to rinse it off my hands with water after I've used it, because as I said, it is a little bit tacky on your hands after you use it, and that hasn't really caused any problems. I did have to rub a little bit, but afterward it didn't feel like I had anything left on my hands, and so so far I think that ingredient is okay, but you may want to proceed with caution. I do also want to point out the fact that glycerin is the number 2 ingredient, so if you have issues with glycerin, or you know how your hair reacts to glycerin at different times of the year, like if you have trouble with glycerin during certain times of the year, keep that in mind. The first several ingredients are not really that great. There's water, glycerin, propanediol, fragrance, polyquaternium 10, stearoconium chloride, and then cetyl alcohol. Those are the first like 7 ingredients. But then just about the rest of the ingredients label is all natural stuff. There are 18 of them. I counted. We'll say like the first 5 ingredients after that are coconut oil, shea butter, aloe leaf juice, jojoba oil, soybean oil, and sweet almond oil. Okay, that's 6. Okay, apparently I can't count. But then there are a bunch more: avocado, olive, mango, argan, neem, carrot, honeysuckle. I won't keep going. There's also macadamia in here. A whole slew of naturally based ingredients, and so I think if you were to add up all those ingredients, it's probably a pretty significant amount of natural stuff. Now, according to the label, they say that it produces frizz-free, smooth, bouncy curls, and that it activates curls, delivers volume, and adds shine. I will add right now, I didn't really notice a whole lot of volumizing, but the other stuff, yes, and I'm going to go bit by bit with how I used it, because I used it several different ways and my experience with each way that I used it. Right, the first way that I used this stuff was as a frizz tamer / reconstructor, because the day that I happened to buy it, it was rainy and so my hair was really frizzy, and I decided to, hey, try it out when I got home. I touched on this a little bit before. You want to use this stuff on damp or wet hair, not dry hair, and that I would say that probably includes your hands too when you're putting it on, because I said a little earlier, when it dries it can be tacky on your hands, and the same thing will happen with your hair if you use it wet, or excuse me, if you use it dry. If you use this stuff dry, yes, it has a tacky finish, and when I used it dry, I felt like my hair was a little bit kind of just rough and not quite right feeling after I used it. So make sure that your hair is damp, excuse me, or wet before you apply this stuff. And I used it on my hair damp. I got a really nice shine from it, and it did a very good job taming frizz. You use this stuff wet, we'll say. As I said earlier, it has a little bit of a slippery consistency. It's very slippery when wet, and I found that that actually made it easier to distribute. Like when I'm using a tiny little bit and I was just putting it on to help tame some frizz, it distributed really evenly, really nicely, because it was so slippery. It was easy to spread around. So I am finding that this stuff, a little bits, will really go a long way. The next way that I used this was as a leave-in, and when I tried it this way, I just used it as a plain leave-in underneath an LA Looks gel, and I think it was the day after I did this, we got some rainy, misty weather, and I ended up with some of the most epic curls that I have ever had. I had more ringlets all over my head than I usually do, and as I said, I was using an LA Looks gel. I was using one that I haven't really used much before. It's the yellow one, the Mega Hold, and I don't know if that had something to do with it, because I've noticed that holds better in the long run than the Nutri-Curl that I was using. But the only other thing that I used was this Cantu stuff as a leave-in, and my hair resisted the rain really, really nicely. I mean, I had, you know, some flyaway frizzies, but other than that, the humidity ended up really helping my hair. As you saw the picture that I put in there, I got some of the most amazing curls that I have ever had from that combination. And the last way that I tried using it was as a styler, so like as a substitute for gel, and that is what I have in my hair right now. I used it as a substitute for gel over top of my kind of cocktail of the Shea Cashmere VO5 and the Shea Butter Shea Moisture Conditioner. That's kind of my leave-in cocktail that I've been returning to lately. Now, because this is more of a cream kind of product, I wasn't really expecting a whole lot of hold from it, but I was actually pleasantly surprised. It has more hold than other creams that I have used. This is actually second day hair that I have right now, and as it was drying, it felt like it had a little more hold to it, like almost like there was a very, very light gel in my hair. It just felt a little more substantial. I don't know how else to put it. And the curl definition that I got was very nice. It's just softer and looser, and I'm thinking I actually like it as a nice change. I slept with my hair in a cap, and I wasn't sure how it was going to last, because again, it's like a cream kind of product. It's probably a slightly lighter hold. That's usually what happens. But I am pleasantly surprised by the way my hair has stuck together. I don't know if I will be able to achieve decent third day hair from this, but it doesn't really matter, because I'm actually going to be washing my hair tonight and doing my whole weekend oiling and deep conditioning routine anyway. If you have hair like mine that needs a little help to curl, this might only go a couple days for you. Now, if your hair is a little more stubborn, shall we say, and a little more naturally clumpy, you probably won't need to worry about that with this. And my hair just, it feels really nice and soft, and when I've looked in the mirror, it has a lovely shine to it. One thing that I have noticed is that sometimes when I touch my hair, it seems to have a very slightly waxy feel to it, but again, because it's barely there, so it really doesn't bother me at all. One more thing with using it as a styler, I think I might have used just a tiny bit too much, and maybe that's why my hair feels the way it feels. It doesn't feel greasy or anything, and it doesn't feel tacky because I used it wet, but it has felt like last night, just like a little bit like there is something on my hair, and that might be why. So you definitely don't want to use too much of this product. The only other item that I want to address is that the smell is still lingering. I could smell it pretty easily last night when I put my nose to my hair. I can still smell it just a tiny little bit yet, mostly the nuttiness that I mentioned earlier. So I don't think it's as obnoxious now, but as I talked about with the smell, that can get on your nerves if you are sensitive to smells. All in all, I give this product a thumbs up. I was quite pleasantly surprised by it. It took a little bit of experimenting. I quite like it, and I definitely recommend it. My only caution is, again, getting back to that polyquaternium 10 that's in here, that's kind of silicone-like. If you want to be on the safe side, you may just want to use this product if you're on like a low poo routine, just to make sure that it isn't building up. As I said, I was able to co-wash it off of the palms of my hands without really any problem, but just if you want to err on the safe side, that's what I would recommend. And now I just want to address one update, because I'm probably going to get some questions about this, and I figured just address it now. Yes, I have gotten a haircut. Actually, I've kind of gotten 2 haircuts, actually. Oh boy. I ended up going to the hair salon where I have gone before I went back to school, just because I was tired of my hair. I don't know if I've ever really openly talked about this, but when I decided to grow my hair out, I wanted to just like let it grow the way it was, because I hadn't really had curly hair like this before, and that way we could kind of have a blank canvas. And then the front, especially because my layers were about down to here, it was just getting really obnoxious and heavy, and the sides of my hair just felt so stagnant because they would always hang around my face and not really do anything. So I finally decided that, you know, I needed something, and I was thinking about looking for a salon in my area that does diva cuts, and I was thinking of trying a diva cut, but that didn't really happen because there aren't really any salons in my immediate area that do that. We would have had to drive a little way either here or there, and then it's just, you know, kind of the nerve-wracking process of interviewing a new stylist and, you know, changing, and we were running out of time at the end of the summer. So I went back to the place where I have always gone, and actually got an appointment with a different hairdresser. He's actually the salon proprietor, but I know that his hair is naturally curly. He wears it very close cropped, but his hair is still curly, and that's, I guess, a little better than nothing. And I figured he would know a little better from personal experience what having curly hair is like. And I think I just told him I wanted some long layers, and I kind of talked him through what my hair is like how I have these big fat ringlets that start from about my ears. So basically we just kind of left the bottom of my hair be and didn't really take anything off of that, because that's where my thickest, fattest, bounciest curls are. And he was explaining to me what he was doing, and he was talking about some internal layering. I think he said he did like the internal layers and then the external layers, and then he said it was like a disconnected haircut that he then connected, and he was making like a little loop in the air. And I asked him what he meant by that, and I love him, he's great, but when he explained that, he just kind of rephrased what he had just said, so I still don't really know exactly what he meant by that. But he said it's a technique that he uses on a lot of his clients, and they really, really like it. And he said he has another client who has curly hair, and she's been really pleased with everything that he's done for her hair, so I felt very reassured. And I ended up liking the results. I figured out that I guess maybe I didn't ask for what exactly I wanted, because I didn't really have any more action going around my face in terms of layers. He had just kind of layered mostly in the back. I think he said it would be a very subtle difference just to give it a little more movement, but other than that, I was pleased. And that's what he did. And then no joke, literally yesterday I said the heck with it, and I tried to cut some layers around my face. And well, this side I think I definitely botched the line a little bit. It's a little more abrupt than I wanted, but I don't think it's too terrible, and I can definitely put up with it for a few months while it grows out. I just needed to get something going on around my face. I just don't think I planned it very well, but it's not as bad as it could be. So I have just the idea was to make just like a nice little diagonal line here, and as I said, I kind of botched it, and particularly on this side. But that's what my hair is right now. I really don't mind it. I'm just relieved to have some more movement and some more action going around my face. So I just wanted to address that right now before anyone had any questions about it. So that's all. I did talk in my most recent video that I posted before this about how I'm actually trying to take a break from doing product reviews right now because I have some stuff that I need to use up. Not products that I dislike at all, it's just they're piling up faster than I can use them up, especially since I am actually working on another co-wash conditioner slam like I did with the Suave Naturals. I'm doing that with a VO5. One of my viewers requested that, so I have a ton of conditioners in storage right now. And then I have, this stuff to use up, and I'm trying to use up the Shea Moisture Curl Smoothie, which, by the way, makes really good shaving material. I'll just put that out there. So just not because I dislike these products, I just need to use them up and before I get any more in my stash. So if there are any other videos that you guys would like to see, please let me know. Even if it's just something fun like a tag or something, I'd be more than happy to do those. I put this idea out there in my hair growth video. I was thinking about doing like a beginner's guide to the curly girl method with some suggested products. Waterlily 716 has done a video on that. Shalimar Cat has done a video on that. I love her videos, by the way. You should check her out. I was considering doing my own version, my own suggestions, and just doing something like that because I think it's a really good idea. Those are just, that's just kind of what I have floating around in my head right now, but if you have anything else that you want to see, feel free to let me know. I mean, if you have a product review that you'd like to see, feel free to request it. Just understand that I won't get to it for a little bit because, as I said, I am trying to work through some of the products that I already have. That's all. And now I think that's everything that I have to say. So thank you again very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope it helps you, and thank you as always for all of your support. New subscribers, welcome and thank you, and I guess I will see you guys next time. Bye.